I forgave the person who shot and killed my brother. I know this is hard to imagine or believe, but I truly want you to know that I am not crazy, but in fact quite the opposite. My brother was my best friend. We grew up together doing everything side by side. Me and him had this close bond that you couldn't quite explain. Well, fast forward to our college years, where me and him went to the same university. He was a sophomore and I was a junior, and we lived about 10 minutes apart from each other. Well, one Friday night while we were drinking at this bar that we always liked to go to because he was able to get in. We were winding down our night as it was getting late, and since the bar is really close to our places, we normally just walked back. About 5 minutes into our routine walk, we normally split off in opposite directions to get to our respective places, but this time I was a little more concerned for his well-being because he was insanely plastered. When we reached the split-off point, I offered to walk him back to his to make sure he made it back safe, but he seemed to instantly sober up, or at least act like it, and said, No, I'm fine, don't worry about me, it's just a 5-minute walk back to mine." We joked a little bit and I decided that everything would be fine and we would split off like normal. Well, fast forward an hour and I am woken up by a knock at my door. At first, I was insanely scared, because who knocks on a door at around 3 a.m.? Well, I ended up making my way to the door to find 2 police officers. I opened it and they asked if I knew, insert my brother's name. I said yes, and what they told me next made me go into shock. "Your brother has been shot tonight, sir, and we don't know how to tell you this, but he has passed." I felt like I wanted to immediately slam the door on them and run up the stairs, almost as a way to cope and say to myself this isn't happening. But I didn't. I actually just ended up standing there saying nothing for the next 20 to 30 seconds. They didn't wait for a reply, but continued saying, "We know you probably need some time to take this all in and more, but whenever you are ready, we're going to need a statement from you." I told them I understood and that I would give them a call when I was ready. Well, I'll skip all the boring stuff, but basically here is what happened. My brother, although he acted sober at the end of our walk together, could clearly be seen on multiple doorbell cameras walking down the street near his house, tripping over stuff and barely being able to walk. Instead of going to the house on the right of the street, which is his, he made the grave mistake of walking to the other house on the other side. We had had no previous interactions with the people that lived there before, and I made sure to clear that up with cops so that they wouldn't think it was premeditated. Based off of that, they determined what happens next is all an incident. He walked into the house, as the door was for some reason unlocked. The owner apparently was in his bedroom at the time, when he heard a loud slamming noise, presumably the door opening. He got his gun immediately and told that whoever was in the house needed to get now and that he had said gun. Well, my brother, who was obviously plastered, either didn't hear or comprehend what this guy was saying and just kept walking farther into the house. This is where I'll skip the dark details, but you probably get what happens next. I struggled with this for months and months after it happened, maybe even longer. I cried myself to sleep sometimes, knowing that he wouldn't be there to text in the morning like we normally did. The little things you take for granted, and his passing made me realize all the little niche things he used to do. After some time, one of my professors who was very close with me could tell that I was still going through a tough time, and he suggested that he come with me to his church service the next Sunday. I don't know what was in me that said yes, but I did, and it changed my life for the better. For the next month or two, I learned about the Bible and its word, but most importantly, compassion and loving your own enemy. I struggled with the idea of it, but I knew that it might be for the best, and with my newfound purpose in life, I felt more ready than ever to take that step. My brother's killer's hearing was coming around the corner, and when it finally came and family testimony started, I was the first in the chair. In that chair I repeated a very heartfelt message to my brother's killer, and I couldn't help but notice the tears rolling down his face as I read it. The last words in that long letter read, "I forgive you, and wish the best for you in all your years left on this beautiful world we all get to call home."